Welcome to Steel City Football, the 4-1-2. Let's jump right in. This is just another example of why you need to get your sports news from other sources other than woke ESPN. So woke ESPN for months has reported day after day how Shedeur Sanders is a first-round draft pick, and if he fell to the Pittsburgh Steelers at pick 21 in round 1, that Pittsburgh would definitely take Shedeur. And they're only saying that because obviously Coach Tomlin is black. That's where we have come to in 2025. That's how pathetic the United States of America has become, where you have black analysts on ESPN who are woke, who take the film out, throw it in the garbage can and say, well, Coach Tomlin is black. He's definitely going to take a black player. It's absolutely ridiculous. Listen to Jerry Dulick tell the truth, how the Steelers were never interested in Shedeur Sanders whatsoever. So once again, you have ESPN just creating a false, fake narrative, making people go insane. Oh, it's racism. Shedeur didn't get drafted because of racism. You name it. But meanwhile, the Steelers were never even interested. He wasn't even on their draft board. Are you surprised? I'm not surprised at all. And I'm so happy. I already knew that Coach Tomlin wasn't going to go for the garbage. He's about winning. He doesn't care if you're a Martian. He doesn't care if you're orange, yellow. He doesn't give a shit about any of that. If you could throw a football, if you could block, if you could tackle, if you can cover somebody, he's interested. He doesn't get into all the other garbage. Thank God. Let's jump into the video.
Tell you where he was in a pecking order, Rich, but I will tell you, despite what all the national people thought, they did not intend to draft him. If he was there on the 6th round, and maybe, but the people that had him going to the Steelers and had him going at 21, that just wasn't going to happen. No quarterback was going at 21. That includes Jackson Dart, who they did have a first-round grade on. But I don't think he factored in. And you could see how many times they passed on him. If they were going to take him, they would have tried to take him in the 4th round. Well, but it wasn't high on their list.
Well, I mean, they had 3 shots to draft him, and the second.
Well, I mean, Rich Eisen just can't get over it. You could always tell the guy that has a problem with it. Their estrogen looks high, and they're all emotional because Shedeur, the lie that Shedeur is the greatest quarterback ever, it was disproven, and nobody fell for it. So it's like Rich Eisen now has his pink panties in a bunch because nobody believed their lies.
Round pick, they essentially drafted DK Metcalf and paid him like a superstar wide receiver that they hope he will continue to be in Pittsburgh. But why was Shedeur not even a first 5-round consideration, do you think, if he was available? He wasn't available by the time that they had Y.A. Black out there to select in the 5th round. He was gone by then. But what?
Rich, because they think Will Howard is a better leader, a better player. It's just like there's something wrong with the liberal mind. It just can't accept reality. It just can't. Will Howard won a national championship. He lost the game against Oregon early on in the season because he didn't get out of bounds in time. He didn't mentally crumble. He didn't take his team to the strip club. He rebounded. He won the remaining games and won a national championship. He hung in there, mentally tough, physically tough, has the intangibles, the tools. He's not Shedeur Sanders. He's a better player, Rich.
What's your reporting on why the Steelers didn't have Shedeur as high as everybody thought?
Well, Rich, I can't tell you specifically why, but I could just tell you there were other quarterbacks that they were more interested in the middle to late rounds. As I said, they like Jackson Dart, but when he went, now if he was there in the 3rd round, which I didn't expect, I don't think they did either because they had a first-round grade on him. But they had other quarterbacks in the middle of the round that they thought that they might be interested in. But, the quarterback was not going to be a priority. And I believe we talked about this last time. They are all in 2026 on moving up and trying to get what they believe to be their next franchise quarterback, or certainly their starter for a number of years. And so I think their plan all along has been geared that way. And I can't speak. I know, obviously, the Steelers thought, he had a nice skill set and everything, but I just don't. I never got the impression that he was high on their list to draft, Rich.
So
at any point
in the draft, you're saying that Shedeur Sanders was not going to be a Steeler, best to your knowledge?
Best to my knowledge, that is correct.
So the quarterback plan for the Steelers is hoping Aaron Rodgers works through whatever he needs to work through in time for him to join the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's the plan right now?
Rich, I hate to keep backtracking. Let me say one more thing about Shedeur Sanders.
Okay.
When Mike Tomlin at the pre-draft press conference 2 days before the start of the draft talked about Shedeur Sanders, that was the key right there. That should have told everybody they are not going to pick him, because he never, ever, ever, it's not the Steelers' policy to ever talk about a draft prospect. And the minute he did, that told me that he's not going to take him, because if he was interested in Shedeur Sanders, he would have never said a word about him. And he freely admits he likes to create smoke screens and steer people in the wrong directions, whether it's the media, whether it's the draft experts, whether it's other teams. So when he did that, that told me right then they weren't going to take Shedeur Sanders.
Coach Tomlin and Omar Khan made the right decision. They didn't reach. They didn't set the organization back by making the wrong quarterback pick. They're fully prepared to go into the season with Mason Rudolph as their starter. The last time we seen Mason Rudolph in his Steeler uniform, he played great against the Buffalo Bills. They just lost the game. They didn't have TJ Watt. They didn't have a great running game. Things are going to change. And they did the right thing. They knew that no quarterback there wasn't a sure lock in the first or second round where they needed to reach. I think Will Howard has the possibility to be the steal of the draft, along with his teammate Jack Sawyer. I mean, I love the Derrick Harmon pick, but Jack Sawyer and Will Howard, great. I love every pick that Coach Tomlin made. I give the draft an A+. I'm more than thrilled. They didn't reach for a quarterback. They got their defensive tackle in the first round. They stuck to the Steeler tradition. They're going to be patient and wait for that guy that they know is a sure lock. I am so glad the Shedeur Sanders expedition is over. I'm so glad I don't have to hear about Mike Tomlin's definitely going to take him because Coach Tomlin is obviously black and so is Shedeur. Thank God it's over. It's exhausting. The Steelers did a great job. They made the right decisions. Big Ben offers advice to rookie quarterback Will Howard. He goes on to say he needs to understand, and I would tell him this: you don't have pressure, bud. You're a sixth rounder. There's no pressure. Roethlisberger said via his football and podcast on YouTube, he should go into this thing with the mentality of, I can play free. I have no pressure. He also went on to say he should come in with the mindset of this is my job. Roethlisberger said, I want to be the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers for the next 15, 18 to 20 years. That should be his mentality. Now I hope, and I would tell him to do it the right way. He also said it'll naturally unfold itself if you're out here preparing yourself and you're not trying to undermine the starter and cut his legs out. Roethlisberger said, all of a sudden you're performing a little better in practice, and it's like, okay, now go ahead and get your shot with the ones. I mean, Big Ben's trying to just tell him in a way, the cream always rises to the top, and I completely agree. If you look at all the things that a quarterback needs other than athleticism to rise to the top, Will Howard has all of these qualities. He's very Tom Brady-ish in a lot of ways, and I'm not just talking about where he was picked in the draft. I'm talking about all the intangible qualities. I absolutely love the Jack Sawyer pick, a downright criminal fourth-round selection by Steelers. Analysts said Nick Herbig was also a fourth-round pick. Any other team, he's a starter. If he hit the free agent market, he's getting millions of dollars. I'm glad he's a Pittsburgh Steeler, and I feel the same way about Jack Sawyer. You can never have enough Jack Sawyers on your team. You know, the scouting report that he has tight hips and all that garbage. He's not fast twitch. He's a lean 260 pounds. He's 6'4". He ran a 4.6 flat 40-yard dash, super strong, plays the run excellent, can rush the passer, has better speed than people think, and he's only going to get better perfecting his craft next to TJ Watt. NFL.com's Chad Reuter views it this way. Sawyer is slated to be a contributor behind Alex Highsmith and TJ Watt as a rookie, but there's always a chance he plays more snaps early in his career than expected. Reuter writes, according to NFL.com, I figured the Ohio State star might not go in the top 50 because of his lack of twitch on the edge, which is completely stupid, but it was downright criminal for Pittsburgh to snag him in the 4th round. The Steelers simply have a type, and Sawyer fits that type, period. He's an old-school, no-nonsense, hard-nosed football player who also serves as a great leader from his time in college. He stayed home at Ohio State as a Columbus native to try to lead the Buckeyes to the mountaintop, and he did just that as Ohio State won the national championship in 2024. If you didn't see the play that sealed the game, he sacks the quarterback, picks it up, runs it back for a touchdown, ends the game, and wins Ohio State a national championship. You couldn't have written it better if you were writing a fictional book. Jack Sawyer is that guy. He's a Pittsburgh Steeler. He has Pittsburgh Steeler DNA and all this garbage about fast twitch. The man is 260 pounds that ran a 4.6 second 40. With a good 10-yard dash. I think he ran like a 1.58 or something and jumped close to 40 inches. What the hell are you all talking about? It's just always some type of stupid type of nonsense. That's all it. You know what? I love that type of nonsense because then it allows players like Jack Sawyer to fall into the Steelers' lap. So keep up the good work, the lies, the narratives. I love it. Oh, here it is. The Jack Sawyer scoop and score versus Texas. Great play.
Pressure comes.
Boom.
Sawyer.
Fumble recovery. He's gone. Touchdown, Ohio State Buckeyes. Jack Sawyer.
Ohio State scoop and score. And dagger from 82 yards.
He went 82 yards on a sack and a fumble recovery. There wasn't an offensive player in sight to bring him down, and you think that this guy can't run and isn't fast twitch. He's 260 pounds, a lean 260. Probably could play at 270, 275 if he wanted to. Great pick by the Steelers. I can't say it enough. I absolutely loved our first-round pick, Derrick Harmon. Let's jump into the video.
21st pick in the 2025 NFL Draft.
The Pittsburgh Steelers select Derrick Harmon.
Fired up for you, baby, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, Coach. Yes, sir.
How you feeling, big fella?
Oh, shit, I'm like, my Duke's supposed to be here for this shit, though.
Man, I feel amazing, man, to see this guy from there to there, man. That's crazy, man. I'm a proud coach, man. For real, for real.
Good, brother. Bless you, dog. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just got drafted, man. This shit is a blessing, honestly. Like, unbelievable. Saying where he come from, like, we're not supposed to make it, honestly. And it's just a blessing, man. Proud of my boy.
Yes, God. That's all it is.
I really believe that he's Mean Joe Green and Warren Sapp rolled into one, 6'5", 215 pounds, explosive, strong, ran a 4.95 40, which is excellent for his size. He brings it every single play. He brings his lunchbox to work. He has a meanness and toughness that you just can't coach. I absolutely love the pick, and I could not be happier for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Coach Tomlin, and Omar Khan for their decision-making during this process. The only problem that I have with the Pittsburgh Steelers draft is I felt that we didn't address the slot corner position. We need a stud to take away the inside of the field. You know, Will Johnson was still available in the second round. I know we didn't have a second-round pick, but I think this is going to be a problem for the Steelers all year long. We need to get that Cooper DeJean type player at the inside corner and take away the middle of the field. But I'm just going to be grateful for who we drafted and what we got. Eventually, we're going to have to address the issue.